Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. In this video, we are going to learn how to create Azure custom role for Data Factory. So maybe we want to limit some permissions for some certain users, such as maybe we don't want the users to drop the linked services and all that in the Azure Data Factory. So there could be tons of scenarios where you will be implementing this one. Now, Azure Data Factory doesn't really have, honestly, they don't have like a tons of the roles already defined, such as like, oh, I want to give a developer role to the Azure Data Factory person, and then he can just develop the things and cannot delete anything. So when it comes to the roles here, so if we go right there and take a look, we go to the subscription. In the subscription, we are in the access control, and here if I go to the role, I have roles called such as Data Factory. So if I will type, I have contributor. Most of the time people will give this role, and what they will do, they can create and manage data factories as child resources with them as well. So now if you give this permission to anybody, what's going to happen, they will be able to create and manage data factories, as well as they will be pretty much do anything whatever they want to do with the child objects in the data factory. So I was looking something like, you say, hey, data factory developer, in this case, I just want to give that permission to one data factory and restrict some other permissions as well. So we don't have that leverage here. So for most of the organizations, I don't know, sometime I have seen some cases of where people have given the permissions to the users, and they deleted the data factories. They have deleted the resources in the data factories. So they have deleted pipeline, link services, and all that. And if they do not have configured the Git, that's get into the trouble for everybody. So what we can do, we can kind of I'm going to show you how you can create the custom role depending upon your need. So you can then test it and provide to your users. So if you are in this Azure subscription, first of all, you are in the Azure portal. Then you're going to go to the first of all, we need to invite user. So in this case, I'm going to invite a new user. So Azure Active Directory. So you're going to look for Azure Active Directory right here. So once you do that, it's going to bring you this Azure Active Directory. Okay, so this is what you are going to search for. Once you search for it, it's going to bring you right here, and then you can add. I was actually at the right spot, but I didn't notice that. Anyways, so you're going to hit add user, and in my case, I'm going to invite a new user. So I'm going to click right here, and the name of the user is going to be TB user, and I'm going to give the email for him. Okay, so that's it. And first name, I can call it Amir, and last name Shehzad. So I created this user, TB user, and then I'm okay. If it is a part of any groups and all those, you want to do it. Right now I'm not doing anything. I'm just adding that user in the active directory here. So the invitation is sent, and now once the invitation is sent, the user will get an email. So let's see if I got the email. So I'm going to go to my email and refresh. So this is the email I got, default direct invitation from to access your applications with their organization. So that's cool, and I have to do accept invitation. I have to sign in. Okay, so I signed in and I'm all good here, and I shouldn't have any problems or anything. I can go to the right here. If right now I don't have a whole lot permissions, so that's fine. Once I have the permission, I'm going to open the data factory and work on it. Okay, so let's go back, and here what we are going to do, we are going to go back to our portal, and now we should be going to the this is my data factory. And what I would like to do, I would like to create a custom role and provide some permission, and then we are going to add to that TB user to it. Okay, so now we are going to be on the subscription level again, and in the subscription level, I am going to go to the access control IAM. Okay, here I'm going to go to the add button right there. So you see that there are tons of you can see the roles here. As I showed you, one of the role was a data factory, a contributor. So this is where you can see all the roles. If you want to see the role assignment, you can see the role assignments, And here what we are doing now, we are creating a new custom role, add custom role. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to name this one TB dev ADF. Okay, so I can start something like ADF dash TB dash dev. Okay, so that's the name of my custom role, and then I can go and provide all the permissions. So see, in the permission area, you can click add button and exclude permissions. So there are multiple things you can do right here. So if I go to add permission, I have to do two things. So first of all, I will be finding data factories. Okay, so data factory, once I find the data factory, see Microsoft Data Factory, these roles are tons of roles available. So if you see, these are the type of the permissions available. So now it's you who's going to spend some time and see what your users need. So let's say if I want to say like, oh, I want to give read data factory, and I want to give create an update and all that, so I can select all these, and then I will say go further down, and now I will say, oh, I want to read data factory metric definition, fine. And data sets, I want to give permission on the data sets, maybe just read and delete, and I don't want to give create permission. So okay, then I will go and I will say like on the tables, I don't really want to do that. Then let me see, I wanna give the user the permission to do all that, okay, in the pipelines, but I don't want to give permission for the delete, so I can leave this guy here. Then I can go to the other things, such as on the factories, delete data factory. If you want to give that, that's you don't want to give to the user to delete, create and update any data factory. If you want to give that permission to the user, you can have that. So read data factory, fine. And then cancel debug and all that. So if you want to ask your user to work with those kind of things, in the data flows, query triggers, and then as I was saying, like these are tons of them. Okay, so you have to pick by yourself. I cannot pick everything for you because I do not know if you want to give permission and on what permission you want to give to the users, such as do you want to give a stop integration runtime to your user or not, you want to give them delete or not. So sometime if they need to create the integration runtime, or stop the integration runtime, so you want to give them permission or not. So that's you have to select all that. Okay, and you can simply select all, depends upon your choice, and then what we can do, let's say if you selected all, in this case, okay, let's add whatever we have right now. Okay, so we add all these, and then we felt like, oh, I need to provide some extra permissions and all that, or and yeah, that's, I will say, like this is the kind of the best way to go through, like you go through each of that and then go from there and create. Once you create it, I will come back to this one and actually show you more things to it. Okay, so you go ahead and create, and now what you are gonna do, this role will be created. Now we can go, I'm gonna refresh my subscription, sorry, portal, and here if I go to the Azure subscription again, and then once I'm there, I can see the pages refresh, and now what we can do, we can go to the access control again, and then go to the roles, and here if I will type ADF, then still I'm not seeing that, right? So if I will type TB, still I'm not seeing that. So it takes some time, a little bit while this pop up here. So I'm gonna just go back here, retry again. Okay, still I'm not seeing that. This is the old one I created, so I'm gonna go refresh again. Let's see. Okay, so as you can see that our role is available now, and what we can do, we can go back here, and anytime what we need to make changes, we can always find our role. We go to subscription, go to the access control, then go to roles, find our role, and then we can go to these three dots here and they say edit. And once you're there, then you have all those permissions available that you want to add or delete. So here is the delete button. If you want to delete, you can delete. And if you want to add more permission, such as I noticed that for the resources, so what you call the resources, okay, So one of resource. So this is also kind of a Microsoft dot resource. One of the thing I noticed that there is a, beside the data factory role permissions, you also will be providing the permission on the Microsoft dot resources, because you will be publishing those pipelines. Your users need to publish them, right? And after the creating them, so deploy and management services to the Azure and enable to create, update, and delete resources in Azure. So you will be pretty much going get deployment, create deployment. You will want to give them that, otherwise they will not be able to publish. So if you see right there, in this case, what I have done, I will show you how to put this one. So Microsoft.resources / deployment asterisk, that means all the permissions provide that. So that I can show you where you can do that. So, or you can pick whatever you need, such as you want to do create scripts and all that, can validate deployments, export template for deployment and all that. So whatever you need from the deployment point of view, you can select as well. So I just added those. So you can, once you hit update, it's going to update, and I will take you back. And I was remember I was showing you the JSON that I have. So I go back to edit, and here is the JSON. So now if in case like I'm not able to find that, instead of providing all these guys like deployment, write and all the validate and everything. So if I want to say like I want to give everything on the deployment, I can just put the asterisk here. So I'm going to click edit here, and then I am going to provide this asterisk here. And now what I will do, I will just delete these two lines because I do not need them. Okay, so and then what you're gonna do, you're gonna hit save, and then you are going to upgrade and update. Okay, so your role has been updated. So you see how you can play with the permission on this role, but this role has not been assigned to any user as of now. So and here you can see it is a custom role. So all right, so you will go to the role assignment, and in the role assignment, what you are gonna do, you are going, sorry, you can go actually, let's go add again, and then in the add we say add role assignment. That's what we are gonna do. So in the, first of all, you need to find the role. In our case it was as TB, and see ADF TB dev, that's the role, custom role we created. And then what we are going to do, we are going to click next, and here we will be selecting the user. Select, click on this right here, select members, and from your active directory, what's going to happen, it's going to show you the users. So TB user is that I want to give permission. So now what I'm going to do, role has been added, member has been added, and I'm going to click next and see the summary. So this is the role, and this is my subscription, and this is my user on to which I would like to give permission by using this role on the Azure Data Factory. So I'm going to go ahead and create, and what's going to happen now is going to add this guy in the role assignments right here. I'm on my, just to let you know, I'm on my subscription level. Okay, so that's where I created my custom role, and that's where I provided all that assignments and everything from here. Okay, now see right there, Amir, and that's the role has been assigned to this TB user, and this is the role. If I want to click right here, I can see all the permissions available for this role. So if you just want to see the JSON, as I said that you can always see the JSON, and I have showed you already how to change or modify the JSON. So depending on this guy, let's say in the factories I would like to give read, delete, and all that. So I could have put asterisk here, or depending on that, whatever I want. So in the data set is the same way. Like I don't have to have these many entries. I can just simply say data sets, and then say asterisk here. Okay, and anything that I want to deny, I can add that as well. So we are good here. Now let's say if you have provided every permission on the data factory, but you do not want to provide the drop linked service, so how we can edit that? So we are on our subscription level, and here we are gonna go to the roles, and we are gonna go to we are gonna find our role, and our role is a TB. And once we type that ADF TB dev, I click right there and go to the edit button again. So go to edit, and here I have permissions Before that, we were just keep adding the permissions, and this time what we are gonna do, we are going to some exclude some permission. Let's say you have provided all the permissions here, but you want to exclude some of them. So that's possible. And in this case, what we can do, we can go to the exclude permissions, and we search for data factories. Okay, so search for data factory, and once you click on data factory, and in my case, I want to actually, and let me type a link, link. Okay, so it will search further into the permissions. So you see right there, it's called the linked services. So Microsoft data Azure sorry, data factory dot factory is linked services. So think about that. I do not want to give permission to the user to delete any linked service, and I want to give them a read link service. That's fine, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't actually. I'm only concerned with delete part. So I'm checking this box. One of the thing I noticed there, whatever the permission you provide, I mean that's not checked. So that's, I don't know. It's not a great thing. I think Microsoft will need to work on it. So in this case, what we are doing here, we are telling this permission to be excluded. So user will never be able to delete the link service. Same way, if you want to exclude some other permissions, you can do that as well. Okay, so such as yeah, I think that's fine. You will see that what I'm talking about. So you will hit add, and now if you will go to the JSON, and what's going to happen at the end, it's going to say not actions, and this is going to add those list of the items. You have a little list of the permissions you have just selected. So this will tells us, okay, these are the permission user has it, and these are the permission user don't. Okay, so this will exclude from the permission. Even on top of that, you have maybe given asterisk somewhere and say like, oh, I want to do everything on that data factory, but when you come here, you said no, at least I don't want my user to drop the link service, so that the user will not be able to drop the link service. So that's important. So I think you can go this route as well. You provide all the permission to the data factory, and then exclude few of them that you don't want to give to the user. Because one item I was going to tell you, so this is our role, right? So if we go back to the role here and edit, and I know these are the permissions I have, right? So if I have these permissions, and if I want to say add permission, so now if I go back here, data factory, and type data factory, select right there, did you notice that all these permissions I have, there none of them check mark here? So that's not really cool. It's I wish the Microsoft work on this part, because this is like, at least your user want to know what permissions already has been assigned here, and if they want to work on the more. So if in this case, what I have to do, probably I have to go every time like, oh, I have this one, I don't have this one, I don't have. So I will be spending 100 hours here. So that's not really great. Also, the same thing. The only best way I will tell you is, if you spend good amount of time first time, create your role, and then save your JSON, and then have the JSON of every time you need to do something, just copy this part of it, and just make them changes to it. So instead of going through all those hundreds of permissions and including them and excluding them, I will suggest probably this is the easier way, but still you need to know, right? So if you're I'm I don't want to be like tell you, like, if you are not smart like Mr. Amir, what's gonna happen? Like, how you would know that? Oh, there is a data factories tab under pipelines. You have to read, pause, and all that. So you have, I think you have to study. This is, there is no other way. But once you have all settled, and you created this role, you can save it, and just use the JSON part of it, instead of going back to hundreds of permission, and not knowing which you have provided, which you have not provided. So that's one of the pain I feel that for myself as well. So this is how you will be creating custom role and assigning to your users. And now let's try to log in. Maybe adf.azure.com. Okay, so if I do that, it's gonna ask me which user you would like to use. So I'm gonna go sign out from here. If I sign out from here, let's see if it will ask me. pick account is not here, so let me I'm gonna open another one. So what user will be doing once the permissions and everything is done, and what user will be doing, they will be going to the Azure, and here they will be saying adf.azure azure.com, and then what's going to happen is going to open a portal like this. As of now, my permissions are not really synchronized because it takes like 15 to 20 minutes, while this whole process work. So every time you make the change to your custom um, role, what's going to happen, it take tons of time actually, so I don't know, sometime 10 minutes, sometime 15 minutes, while the permissions are saved, updated, and then user has to log off and log in. So anyways, once they go to the adf.azure.com, they are going to see like active user, active directory. They will provide that information, they will choose a subscription, and then they will see the data factory. Once they see the data factory, they will be just continue, and then it will open Azure Data Factory for them, and then they can work the same way, whatever permissions you have provided. So in case you have provided permission to drop a link server, they will be linked the service, they will be able to drop, they will be able to create, they will be able to author the pipeline, publish them, whatever, according to the custom role permissions. So this is how you will be creating your custom roles for the Azure Data Factory and restricting the permissions for some certain actions. Thank you very much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.